Hello, hello, blissful friends. Barbara Badalati here. Live blissful, be well retreats. Oh my goodness. So I was thinking, well, what would be most beneficial for all of us today? And so one of the things is because of so much happening in the world and our stress levels and all of the fires that are happening that are so devastating, social, political distress, things that might be happening for us personally, the coronavirus, which has to do with our respiratory system, and the fact that when we're distressed, one of the systems that is most compromised is our respiratory system. And we don't breathe deeply because we're afraid, or we are even physically maybe checking our phones or working or feeling depressed, or our bodies because our cells are listening to every emotion, every thought, every situation, which is why sometimes it's good to turn off the news and to just have maybe some time away from all of it, is because our bodies are responding constantly. So whether, again, it's a physical situation that you're in, that you're bent over, or it's something that's going on emotionally or mentally, we forget to breathe, or we don't breathe deeply, whether it's the physiological aspect or, again, the mental and emotional aspects of what we're dealing with. So the first thing is that hopefully, if you had a chance to get your heavy blanket and also your glass of water, let's just take a moment and bless our water and realize what a miracle just water is. And maybe put a little prayer out for some rain that the fires could definitely use, and all the people and wildlife. And so part of it is nature and its cycle. And so let's do a little rain dance and get some relief. And so have a drink of water, if not more, and appreciate that. And when I was going into health sciences and I was in my anatomy physiology classes, I just was amazed at how miraculous the body is. And so I thought, I'll just bring a few books out because we don't really think about the respiratory system having to do with the nasal cavities, the neck and throat with the esophagus, and being able to carry that down and release, and also the sections of the lungs, the various lobes, and then the diaphragm, this large muscle that's underneath the lungs. And so I also brought out this book because sometimes it's easier just to go really simple. And so the first thing is when you're breathing, this diaphragm muscle presses down because we're taking more oxygen in, and so our bellies need to be soft, and our bellies are going to expand out just like a baby. And so that's one thing I want you to realize, is that you need to have kind of a Buddha belly. You need to let your belly be soft, even though in the Western society we've been told to hold our stomachs in. It's really not allowing for deep breaths. And so when we do this restorative pose tonight, if you don't want to be on the floor or even on your bed, you can certainly do it seated. So if it's possible to do that, you can just lace your fingers behind your head and kind of lean back, maybe even on your chair. It's almost as if you're leaning back and catching rays of the sun. And so when you breathe in through your nose, preferably if you can do that, you're going to allow this diaphragm to press down, belly's going to extend out, so you can go into these lower lobes of the lung and get oxygen into those little air sacs, if you will. And then when you exhale, allow your belly to kind of pull in. That's going to let the diaphragm move that carbon dioxide out. So think about that miracle too. Like there's this exchange. And so through the plant life, they give us oxygen, and then we are releasing those waste products and taking that carbon dioxide which plants need. So there's this, even the miracle of the exchange of what we have in giving and receiving with this breath. And ever since you took your first breath, your lungs have been there for you without you even thinking about it. So we really want to not only breathe deeply, but have a sense of appreciation. Now, if you can do a restorative pose, this is what I would suggest. I really love these Mexican blankets, but whatever heavy blanket that has some substance to it will help you with this restorative pose. What you're going to do is you're going to fold it so that it's about the length of your spine and will also support your neck and head. So go ahead and do that if you can. If you can be on the floor, that's best because it's a little bit more firm than your bed. But if you want to lay down on your bed, you can do it there too. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to put that blanket pretty much at your lower back or right in the sacrum area, just as long as your head stays on the blanket when you roll down. And then with your knees bent, go ahead and roll down one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to scooch up a little bit so I can see you and you can see me. So let's talk about supporting your lower back. So one of the things you want to do is you want to keep your knees bent so that it supports your lower back. So you can keep them bent, and then I always let the knees just kind of fall into one another and let your feet be a little wider. That will give them a little bit more stability so they don't wobble. You can also extend your legs all the way out. So if that feels comfortable, go ahead and do that. Or if you want, you could bend your knees and open them out and let the soles of your feet touch. So that's another idea that you could do. And then go ahead and just let your head be supported on the blanket and maybe let your hands rest on your rib cage. And then with your nose, again, if you can breathe through your nostrils, close your eyes and just take a moment to notice your breathing. Notice how deep or shallow the breath is. And let go of any kind of judgment. Just notice your breathing. Maybe feel that coolness coming in and the warmth as you exhale. Good. See if you can go a little bit deeper and more smooth with your breathing. Good. And bring lots of love and appreciation to your lungs, to the oxygen, to the ability for your lungs to also release toxins, waste products, carbon dioxide. And feel your belly rise and fall. Good. Now what you would do is you could also then extend out your arms. And a restorative pose, you could be there 5, 10, 15 minutes. Usually people turn off their phones but set their alarm. So if you want, you could do that as well. So what it does is it allows the system in this position to breathe deeply and get the most out of this particular pose in a restorative way because your nervous system is calm, you're relaxing, and you're letting the pose, if you will, the position of this pose with the support of the blanket to do the work for you, or to receive the benefit for you. So that's just a little bit about the restorative pose. And if you want, you can also bring in a pattern count. So if you want, you could inhale for maybe 6, 8 counts, and then you're going to hold gently the breath for about half that count, and then you're going to exhale out for that count. And when you get to the end of that count, give it another half of 4, 3. For instance, if you're breathing in for 6, you're going to hold it for 3, you're going to exhale out for 6, and then you're going to go a little bit further, another 3 counts, kind of just emptying out. You can do it 8, 4, 8, 4. I've seen people do 12, hold for 6, exhale out for 12, continue for another 6 counts. So it's really your own lung capacity that will allow you to do that. So just try it for a moment here. Let's go with, we'll go 8. 8, 4, 8, and then 4. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold gently. Just hold that prana, that life force, that oxygen. And then exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. If you can do that. If your count is a little different, that's okay. Just letting it go. 4. Good. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gently hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let go. Let go. And then see if you can let go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Let your arms extend if they're not already. Keep your eyes closed. See how long you can stay with that cycle of breathing and maybe even change it a little bit. Give yourself permission for this self-care ritual, this restorative yoga pose that will help the lungs to stay open, to breathe deeper, to allow for the heart center, the love center to also be open, to receive, to give. The world needs this, especially now more than ever, and you have the capacity to give and receive. So this is just one little way that you can continue to practice and to strengthen that ability. All right, so the world needs you, and I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and leave me a comment. I want to know how you're doing, and maybe share this with your kids, your friends, maybe somebody that really needs it, who's going through a lot right now. Allow this breath and this heart center to bring healing. And I will see you next Sunday, or at the retreat, or at the meditation coming up soon. All right, much bliss. Talk to you next time.